Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, have a big announcement to make for the nation and for the president. He finally kind of got it right up here, and he's strongly considering sending troops to the border. Gotta secure that border, and it looks like there's a possible chance that he'll be sending troops to secure the border. But, well, not our border, of course. Someone else's border. I mean, we can't secure our own border, but we'll send troops around the world to secure someone else's border. And I'll get to that here in just a minute, because there's a whole lot more going on still, every day, it seems like, over in Europe with us and Ukraine and Russia. And it's just, it doesn't look like it's going to stop until someone crosses the line and things get a little hairy. Before I get started, a couple of things I want to mention. Number one, someone sent me this. They're one of the viewers here on YouTube, and they have their own YouTube channel also, which you should go check it out. They put out some really good stuff. And it's a family that they have a website, and they're kind of their main thing is just to teach people how to be self-sufficient, how to kind of live off the land. Well, that's kind of what we talk about here all the time. And anyways, they sent me a link to their website and wanted me to look over it. And they have put together kind of this training manual, basically, of how to do it. You can download it. It's a PDF file. They're not paying me to talk about this. I'm not getting anything out of it. And they're not selling this. This is a free thing they're just putting out there because apparently they're just that kind of people. And so I wanted to mention it. I've skimmed over it. It's like a 200-page PDF file, and it looks really good. There's a lot of great information on there on like how to, be off the grid, what to do about your sanitation, electricity, water, all that kind of stuff. And if you go to abundaculture.org, there's the little, you can see it down here below. If you scroll down to the bottom of that, there's a link to that free PDF file. And it's really cool. I mean, they've done a ton of work in putting this thing together. And like I said, they also have a YouTube channel of the same name that they put out some really great videos. And I just wanted to pass that on to you because, all the stuff going on, folks, we got to pull together. And there's resources amongst all of us. And I'm a big believer in promoting each other because that's what we got to do. That's what community is. Also, before I get started into this video, something that most people are going to probably see this and just not even think about it, but I think most of you understand what it is. DC, the government of Washington, DC, they put this out here. And what they're doing is they're trying to nicely tell people to self-ration food. To nicely say, please, when you go out to the grocery store, don't just go crazy. Just only buy what you need. The store shelves have been bare. Many of you have noticed that. And please, just don't go crazy on buying stuff. Folks, when the government is telling you to ration your groceries, to ration your food purchases, that should be a sign that you need to start getting stocked up. I mean, that's pretty severe. I can't remember a time in at least recent history that the United States or of any kind of level of government has actually had to tell people and ask them to please cut back on what you're purchasing. Please don't buy too much because there's just not enough to go around. There's not enough for everybody. And we're asking that you kind of cut back on and just only get the basics, the bare necessities of what you need. And when you hear governments telling you that should send warning signs and bells and lights and sirens off in your head and say, we need to kind of get serious and stock up because they're telling us to do the exact opposite. So I just wanted to pass that along to you. Prices are continually going up. If any of you watched, I believe it was Canadian Prepper the other day, he was talking about some of these preparedness companies that are having to increase the price of their products. Berkey is one of them, several of these freeze-dried emergency food companies. If you're interested in buying one, especially like a Berkey, they're talking about having to increase the price of their products 20 to 30%. There's a link down in the description below where you can get one before those prices go up, because I mean, you got to have a water source and you got to have the ability to clean that water. Now, on with what I want to talk about. Yeah, Joe Biden is considering sending troops, thousands and thousands of troops, and ships and planes and tanks and all that stuff to secure the border. Just it's not our border that he's wanting to secure. He's wanting to send them over to secure the Ukrainian border. That came out today, and that's pretty serious. Now, it doesn't say that it's a sure thing. It says that they're considering it. I suspect the decision has already been made, and they're just trying to soften that blow with the American people, because right now, the American people are not in favor of this. They're not in favor of going over there, of sending troops into Ukraine and to fighting a war with Russia. Even if it's some kind of proxy war, they're just not interested in it. So I suspect they're trying to soften the blow. The State Department has told all civilian personnel that they need to get out of Dodge. They need to get out of Ukraine. I've seen that the German government has done the same with its people, and I suspect that we will see more governments do the same, of telling their people they need to get out of Ukraine. The United States government, the State Department, also put a warning of not to go to Russia. American citizens shouldn't be visiting Russia. I did see this, and this was interesting, that they're not, the United States, the State Department, doesn't want to get into a situation where they've kind of left American citizens behind, and they're telling everyone, don't worry about that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to leave anyone behind. And it's pretty sad that they have to say that, since they've already set a precedence for doing just that very same thing in Afghanistan by leaving thousands of people, American citizens, behind, and not seeing that they're taken home and gotten out of the country. I mean, they spent a lot of money and a lot of time getting, potential terrorists and a lot of people that we don't really know who they are, refugees. We got them out, but we didn't get our own people out. And now because there's already been this loss of faith in our own government, they're having to put this out that, oh, well, don't worry now. Now, it's not going to be like another Afghanistan. We will get our own people out. So if you're in Ukraine, or you know someone that's in Ukraine, then you need to be telling them to get out of there, because it doesn't. I wouldn't put all my faith and trust in the United States government of getting us out. Now, what does all this mean? It's up in the air. I've spent some time every day looking at kind of what's going on and what the different, I guess, experts are saying about this. And honestly, I'm seeing probably a pretty even split of saying that, yeah, we are going to end up in a war. This is going to be a war. Putin's going to invade Ukraine, and we're going to be somehow involved in that. And then I see about half of everyone else saying, nah, it's not going to get to that point. I honestly don't know. I know that the Bidens have a huge vested interest in Ukraine. Ukraine has made the Biden family quite wealthy, and so there's obviously a vested interest there. They want to, I think the president wants to show the world that he can stand up to Putin, and after, making fun of the previous president, Donald Trump, of not doing that. So I think that there's that going on. And honestly, I think the biggest thing going on is that we are in an economic downfall. Stock market's not even able to stay up anymore. And that's been the thing for the last year that they've said. Even the other night in the president's big 2-hour press conference, he said, oh, look at the stock market. I mean, it's been this many record days just in the first year of my presidency. And yet now that's starting to fail. And as we all know, war is great for the economy. And war is really great for the military-industrial complex. And they're the ones that's really pushing this. They know that they're going to make money regardless of who wins in the outcome. They're going to make money, and so they're pushing for this. So between the economic downfall that we're in, the military-industrial complex, they love this. They love war. And the fact that, Biden seems to have, I don't know how to put this nicely, but seems to have someone pulling his strings over in Ukraine. I'd say that there's a pretty good chance, and this could certainly set us up for a much more major global conflict. We're not dealing with these ragtag rebels that we've dealt with over the last 50, 60 years of all the different conflicts that America has been involved in, which that's exactly what we've been involved in, is little ragtag rebel conflicts. Yes, some of them have been wars, but still, this is a very organized military, a very powerful military. They may not be quite as powerful as us, but they are a very large and powerful and modern military. And we have not faced that since World War II. And it's just not something that we need to be getting involved in. We have no business over there. We have no vested interest in protecting Ukraine. So we have to ask ourselves, if there's no obvious reason for us to be there, then who's benefiting from this? And certainly not you and I. It's certainly not going to make things better for us. With all the other stuff that's going on with shortages and this continual push for, mandates and stuff, even when, Europe is basically backing down and trying to get back to normal, at least on appearance. We're still here like Australia and New Zealand, pushing it. Keep watch over this, folks. Get prepared. Certainly get prepared. When we've got places like Washington, D.C. telling people to ration their foods because there's food shortages and supply chain problems, that's not a recipe for anything good, folks. And it does look like that we're every day inching a little bit closer to an actual physical conflict with Russia over in Eastern Europe. So, hey, at least we're securing someone's border. May not be our own, but I mean, might as well. Them boys are getting paid. Honestly, though, this is insanity to be sending more troops, equipment, and everything else over there. Folks, it's time to get your house in order. It really is. If you're able to come to our meeting this weekend, it's January 30th. If you want more information about it, it's here in Central Missouri, South Central Missouri, Central Ozarks. Shoot me an email, and I'll get back with you on the details of that, because things are starting to, it's starting to become apparent that now is the time to prepare. Now is the time to formulate our communities and get our ducks in a row, because we may not have much longer before we can, do that. So get your houses in order, prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.